Squirrel, you're a guardian as well, aren't you? Are you a temple
No,
guardian?
Okay.
definitely not. No.
Oh, fair.
Squirrel
I wish I
and
was.
Mystery, if you want to take your conversation to the other side of the
No,
tent.
we're listening. We're
No,
ready
okay.
for you.
Okay, great. Perfect. The audio is like everywhere.
100%.
So, all right,
Everybody should
beautiful
actually
humans.
mute themselves right now, I would say, for the next couple seconds.
Okay. All right, beautiful humans, welcome to BurnerSphere. I'm so happy that you are here. Whether you're joining us from deep playa memories or discovering the community for the first time, you are in the right place. We're excited to welcome Peter, Maven, Adam, and Tree, people who've been intimately involved in the Temple Project for many years. When we go into the Temple Guardian Hub, we will learn more about each person. But first, a quick question before we dive in. Is anyone new to BurnerSphere? I know we had a few new people. Awesome. That is great. So if you are, welcome home. A little pro tip. Send everyone friend requests right now and connect with people that are around you. That way, if you ever need to re-enter the space, you can open your friend browser and jump directly to the space that they're in, not directly to the person. You still need to find them. It makes everything seamless, and also you can adjust your volume in your settings. You open up your settings by, if you're on a headset, you open up the purple bead on your bracelet or the settings menu in the upper right on your computer, and from there you can adjust your audio settings. If you turn your ambient volume about halfway but your chat volume all the way up, you'll be able to hear the voices around you a lot easier. All right, the digital dust is swirling. One quick note, we are streaming live on YouTube and on Discord. So hello to everybody on YouTube and hello to everybody on Discord. Thank you, Doug, for making sure everyone can participate. If you see Doug running around in the world, know that he is streaming through his eyes and you are on camera. So hello to everyone watching everywhere. So we're going to now head over to the portal for the Temple Guardian Hub by clicking. We're going to go over to the world selector over here, right over here. And we're going to click on the arrows. The ones to the left will get you there faster. And you're going to look for Temple Guardian Hub. And then you're going to click on the go button. The other way you can do this is you can wait until somebody that you're friends with is in the Temple Guardian Hub, and then you can just hit the go to button. Let's all head over there now.
Is it Temple Guardian Hub or Temple Guardian World?
Hub. Temple Guardian.
Okay, not
Also, you can, in the billboard,
sure?
you can go
No,
to
Temple Guardian World.
It's not
Temple
there.
Guardian World. Temple Guardian World.
Okay, Temple Guardian World.
But the other thing you can do is I'm going to head there, and you could just go to me in your friend browser.
Okay. Found it now.
Also here in the billboard, what it says go to. We want to.
Too hard. I'm just gonna go over.
It's like my cats.
Where did Doug go?
Where? Show me.
But it's pretty close to that one, the one over there, and this one.
What, the selector?
No, the
There's Doug.
Small version of the temple.
Oh, I'm being an idiot.
Yeah,
My
that's
bad.
Galactia.
Is this one of the virtual ones?
No, this is.
Which one's that
I can't remember the name of it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
this one. Doug, where are we standing?
Flying. How the freak are they doing that?
Where are we standing? Right here? Where are we standing? Where do you want us? Right here. Okay. So let me find
Wait, how do
my
they do
things.
that?
So welcome everyone. Thank you for being here for what is truly a special moment in BurnerSphere. This has been a monumental amount of work to bring this temple museum together. Today we are celebrating 25 years of the temple. 25 years of grief and gratitude, of messages written and released, of structures built by human hands and returned to fire and ash. The temple has been one of the most profound and sacred traditions on the playa, and today we honor its full journey. We're here to open the Temple Museum, a new space inside BurnerSphere dedicated to preserving and celebrating the legacy, and it's the heart of the Temple Guardian world, a contemplative gateway that will connect you to the temple worlds spanning all the way from 2000, the very first temple, to 2025. Each one a doorway back into a year and a feeling and a community moment that many of us carry with us still. So before we step inside all the different worlds, which you will have the opportunity to explore, each temple has its own world and its own space. We are first going to sit down with 4 people who have lived this story from inside. Joining us today is Peter Platzgummer, the Associate Director of Art Management at Burning Man, Jenna Seiden, known by many as Maven, from the Temple Guardian Council, Lee Klinger, known as Tree, and Adam Doti, both with the Temple Builders Guild. Together, they hold decades of memory, craft, intention, and love for this project. Whether you have left a message in the temple, helped raise its walls, or simply stood quietly in its presence and let it hold you, this conversation is for you. So let's begin. If we could have our panelists. Peter Platzgummer, our first panelist, has been at the heart of how Burning Man's art comes to life for the past 4 years. Peter serves as the Associate Director of Art Management at Burning Man Project and is the organization's liaison to the Temple Project, making him a central thread in the connection between the temple and the institution that holds space for it on the playa. In his role, he supports artists through every stage of their journey, from early design to construction, through financing and project management, and post-event placement across nearly 500 large-scale sculptures each year. Before Burning Man Project, Peter worked as a program manager and producer at a U.S. art fabrication studio specializing in immersive and kinetic installations. And he's also a board member of 5 Ton Crane Artist Collective and holds a PhD in public management from the University of St. Gallen in Switzerland. A combination that tells you everything you need to know about the range this man brings to the table. Welcome, Peter. Where's Peter? Peter's right behind
Thanks.
me. Okay, great. So come on up.
Woo!
So next we have Jenna Seiden, Maven. Our next panelist found her calling on the playa and has been showing up for it with full devotion ever since. Maven, Jenna, known throughout the community as Maven, has been burning since 2019. It didn't take long for her to find her purpose. She discovered the Temple Guardians and knew that was where she meant to be. The Temple Guardians are the quiet, steady presence who hold space inside the temple during Burn Week. And Maven has grown into a key leader within the community. She leads communications and recruitment for the Guardians. So if you want to be a Guardian, speak to Maven. She's the person that will get you in edge between the Guardian team and the Temple Build team, the connective tissue that keeps both worlds informed and aligned and in relationship with each other. So please welcome Maven. Next, we have Lee Tree Klinger. Our next panelist tends living systems, whether that is in the forest, a field of scientific inquiry, or a sacred structure rising from the desert floor. Lee Klinger, known on the playa as Tree, holds an MA and a PhD and has spent over 30 years as a researcher in Earth system sciences, with appointments at the National Center for Atmospheric Research, the University of Colorado, the University of Oxford, the Chinese Academy of Sciences, and the Geological Society of London. He lives on unceded Esalen land in Big Sur, where he directs Sudden Oak Life, a movement dedicated to ecological based practices addressing forest decline in California. That word, tending, feels like the thread that connects everything Tree does, whether caring for ancient oaks or helping build a temple that will hold thousands of offerings before returning to ash. He brings the same quality of deep, patient attention. Please welcome Tree. And now our final panelist has been part of this community since 1999. Me too. And has spent last several years helping raise the very walls we are here to honor today. Adam Doti serves on the board of directors for the Temple Builders Guild and has been an active temple builder since 2020, contributing to several of the structures that have anchored Black Rock City's collective experience. In the default world, he is a designer and a creative leader based in the San Francisco Bay Area and has always been intentionally uh, uh, oh wait, uh, Bay Area. Oh, the line between the default world and the playa world has always been intentionally blurred. He weaves Burning Man's principles of radical self expression and radical inclusion and communal effort directly into his professional life and carries his extended playa family with him wherever he goes. Please welcome Adam. Yay, we need clapping in here. So can I have everyone come up? Maven, if you can come up a little closer. Adam, come on over. Peter, come on up. So we're sort of all in one space. Where's Tree? Where's Tree go?
Get over here, Tree.
Tree, where are you? Oh, there you are. Tree, come on up. We're going to face this way and then turn around. There we go. There we go. Do we have everyone? Perfect. Peter, can you come up a little bit more and unmute yourself? There we go. And Maven, you're still muted. There we go. Do we have everyone? Perfect. Okay, to open this up, for anyone who wants to start, what is your earliest memory of the temple? What was the moment you knew it had become something truly important to you personally? Would somebody like to start? Maven, how about you?
Oh, wow, put me on the spot.
I'm going to put you on the spot because you're standing right here. What's your earliest memory of the temple, and what was that moment that you knew it was something truly important to you?
Oh, goodness. I think, I mean, I'm the newest one. I just started going in 2019 relative, I think, to everyone else on the panel. So for me, it was a year that I actually experienced loss. And I'm not a very emotional person. And so for me, it was Temple of Direction in 2019. And just, it was two things. It was me being surrounded and feeling embraced by the community to be able to express myself when I'm not a very emotional person, and knowing I felt safe doing so. And that's what triggered me to become a guardian, but just also just see everybody sort of shed their persona, quote, at the door. And that's how I knew that the temple was such a magical, one of the many magical places on Playa. But for me, that's where I really saw everybody just sort of transform. And that's why I'm here standing before you now. And I'd love to see what everyone else thinks.
Peter, what about you?
I think for me it was my second year in Playa, and during my first year we left right during the temple burn, and we were stuck at the gate, and we're turning around and saw the big fire, and it looked very impressive. And like I realized that everyone just started to be silent from one second to the other, but I haven't are not having experience to burn myself, I wasn't really sure what to think about it. And then the day the temple burned, something horrible happened. A friend of mine got murdered, and so I knew that the next year I just need to come back and do something at the temple for her. And then the actual burn was a very profound experience for me because of that. And I think all of us have these stories why the temple is important to them and what makes it and who the person is they're thinking about when they're in there. And it was exactly the same for me.
What year was your first year?
11.
11. And Adam, what about you? If you could turn around for the audience and tell us about your first temple experience.
Yeah, sure. My first temple experience was 02. I probably walked by it in 01. It didn't grab me for whatever reason. I think I was just trying to survive. And but in 02, I got married in front of the temple at sunset after a dust storm by Father Godspeed. Who knows where he is these days? And then went for a long time where I went every other year or so, but never really got pulled to the temple until many, many years later, but which is a whole nother story. But yeah, that's probably 02 is when I first temple, and wasn't there for. I didn't really go inside. Didn't really hang out. It was more of like a landmark to go have the ceremony. Was always curious about it and always kind of ran by its flanks and didn't quite know what to do or if I should go inside. I mean, kind of like Maven, not a very emotional. I got friends listening to me right now and are always trying to get me to, be more emotional and speak, what I feel. And sometimes I have a hard time assembling the words together. And so it's hard for me sometimes.
Yeah. And Tree, what is your earliest temple memory that drew you to the project?
Oh yeah, in 2005 was my first burn and my first, experience with the temple. My mother had passed recently, so that was helpful. But what really got my attention was early in that burn, I went and visited a friend over in Temple Camp, the crew that had built the temple that year. And what a vibe I got. And even though for several years I wasn't on Temple Crew, I was involved in other art projects, I just always aspired to oh man, someday I'm going to be on Temple Crew. Indeed, it was, several years. You have to have the right connections. You have to know the right people. But finally, David Best invited me to work on the 2012 temple. But that 2005 temple was it was the crew more than anything else that drew me in. And it still does.
Yeah, I've heard from everyone that I know that's been on Temple Crew. It's a family like no other. So the next question I have is actually directly for Peter. From the perspective of art management at Burning Man, how has that organizational relationship changed with the Temple project? How has it evolved over the 25 years? And what does it really take behind the scenes to support a structure of this scale and intention?
I'm a bit embarrassed that you start with me because I think we're the least important part of this. Like the temple is a really weird situation in Black Rock City for us. It's a community project. It's done by the community. We're merely supporting in the background, and at the same time, it's an infrastructure project that's incredibly important to anyone. There wouldn't be Black Rock City without a temple, and for so many, this is so much more important than the man or the man base or any other structure on the playa. To be very honest, we're just hoping it somehow gets built, and we're doing whatever we can in the background to help the team that gets selected to make this happen. And over the last year, we've worked hard to define the processes, make sure that the institutional knowledge gets archived, so that the new temple lead has a lot of information and has all the context that she or he needs. We worked on our grant. We increased the grant. It's still way too small, as all other grants that you can get for art, but we increased it significantly. We changed the grant process. This year is the very first year where we start significantly earlier. Actually, if one of you is interested in applying, the temple process is open right now, this month, because we're trying to select the temple artist before playa, so that that person has a chance to come with us to the playa and see all the processes behind the curtain, and then we announce it after the playa. We over the years had a chance to kind of define a bit more what kind of infrastructure the temple needs, what support they can get from us, and I think we're in a pretty good state. But at the same time, like, I'm just standing on the sideline clapping and hoping that everything works as well as it can. And a big part of my work is just checking in with the team. Like, as a as someone who built art myself, I never wanted to build the temple. I was always a bit terrified about the idea of it, because much more than at any other art piece, sorry, much more than at any other art piece, people don't necessarily come to the temple because they want to build an art piece. They come because they need to build the temple. And that makes for people who don't necessarily have all the skills, but have much, much more passion than anyone else. And as a builder, I was always a bit terrified about this idea that you have a whole bunch of unexperienced fabricators who are incredibly passionate and really want to have this done. And now I've worked with the temple crew for the last 5 years, and I have to say it's one of the greatest experiences to see how everyone learns, how everyone develops their own skills, and how all of it somehow comes together in the right way to build a beautiful structure on the playa for the whole community.
Well, I've seen how hard you work at making sure the temple crews are supported, as well as a lot of other art on playa. So thank you for always supporting all those artists.
Can I just say,
yes.
This is Tree. I've been involved, I don't know, 15, 16 temples. And, Peter has been the best liaison I've ever worked with. I'm just going to tell you now. And I've worked with many. So thank you, Peter, for your support on the temple.
Yeah, I mean, right now this is James. I'm building the temple this year, and Peter's been a phenomenal resource, and we're super grateful to have he checks in and his quiet presence and no drama, and but he's there. He's got your back always. So it's amazing. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you all, and I'm glad BurnerSphere doesn't have a function to flush.
I gotta pile on here. Peter is the most amazing.
But someone say no drama.
Hey, Peter, just mute yourself for a second and let everybody shower you with praise.
How do I say this? He's supportive from a distance, but he's close. Like, you can feel him. Like, he's not there to fix everything. You are at Burning Man to fix yourself and to help your teammates and help the community. When they need support, we all help each other, right? And we're building this impossible thing in the most adverse environments. And if something breaks or whatever, it's like he doesn't just come in and say, okay, I'll order you a new one, or I'll get you, someone else, like that. Like, sort of like, there's this presence about Peter where you're like comforted to know that he's nearby, but he's not going to do it for you. You got to figure your shit out. Right. And I mean, there's one time where Peter's like literally like figured my shit out for me, but I needed it, and I was way beyond being able to figure my own shit out. But Peter's been the most amazing parent for me. That's not a blood parent. So thank you, Peter. Love you.
Thank you, Peter.
Love y'all. Next question.
Well, since Lee and Adam, you guys spoke up, well, let's go to this question. So, for those of you who don't know the full scope of what it takes, of what the Temple Builders Guild does, can you walk us through what it actually takes to build a temple from the first conversations and the moment that it actually stands on playa?
I'm going to pass this initially off. I have some things to say, but Adam, I have to say, he has been like rookie of the year when I first worked with him. He came in and did everything. So I think, Adam, you're, I mean, because I'm a builder, but you're like more than a builder. So please hop in there.
Well, I mean, that's the problem I struggle with, actually. I'm not a very good, I interview at jobs terribly, because jobs typically want you to, they're hiring for a specific role, and the specificity drives me nuts. It's my like nonlinear brain, the way it works. And I have to, it's very rare for me to be able to find a job in the real world or anywhere else where well, actually at Burning Man, it's very easy. So that's kind of why I've been part of the community for over half of my life, which is kind of weird to think about. And the year that I first joined, like where I played a material leadership role, was Empyrean, and we're coming right off of COVID, right? And so, Renzo and everybody in the whole team is amazing, but everything was a bit discombobulated, right? Like I think everybody kind of forgot how to do all the things. And so I really enjoyed kind of just running around playing like a multifaceted variety role, from literally creating like assembly blueprints for the panels for Imperium, coming up with like an addressing an addressing sort of schema, so we knew how to assemble them in the order, because they were all individually unique. There were no panels on Empyrean that were alike. Somehow also, Peter, we lost 3. How that happened. And so we had to make them in the field. Poor Hudson. And so how it comes together is very different every year. And that's why I love it. I don't like predictability, which is weird, because I lead a design systems team in the default world, which is all about predictability. So it's this weird masochistic thing. Yeah, I'll probably drive my team crazy sometimes, but I love the unpredictability every year. It's a different artist every year. It's different, but it's expected to be on playa every year. So it creates this tension that is like nothing else, right? Like it's got to happen. And kind of like Peter is, like I just praise Peter, to me, I feel like what I enjoy about my role is kind of being the Peter for the community that sort of organically shows up, right? And I talk to the rest of the board directors sometimes every year, and sometimes every year, we're like, well, how much do we lean in this year? How much we don't lean in? Some years we lean in more than others, because when the team shows up, you sort of get a sense of what they have, what they don't have, what they're experienced with, what they're not experienced with. Like Miguel had a suitcase, got on an airplane, right? And, an amazing crew back home that eventually came, but didn't have a local crew, didn't have a local shop, didn't even have a hammer here, right? And so it's like, all right, we're going to lean in this way, right? And then this year, we got James, who's going to be here, right after this session. He got a significant crew. And it's like, cool, we're going to lean in this way. So I just love the variety of that. We start around Christmas, phone calls start around assembling the team. We head out to the trailer. We go dust off the tools and start fixing them. And then we have kickoff around, April. And then we start getting a sense of what the team needs. And I think it's a lot of behind the scenes work to really set the there's a lot of new people that don't know anything about construction. and like how to use a hammer, how to use a drill. And I really enjoy kind of just hanging back and being able to support those folks during the pre-build week. I'll pause there and see if I sort of break it up into 3 chunks. There's like the warm up, the pre-build, and then there's like the getting to the playa and setting all that up. But I'll stop there and hand over the tree, Jane, and then maybe I might come in and say some things about the actual build. But it's the variety, and it's the how I can morph in to fill the gap, because I don't like to play any single role. So every artist that's asked me like, hey, how about you lead this, or you do lighting, or you do whatever, and I'm like, okay, but inevitably I always try to find 18 other things to do that can be done to help in service of the whole project.
Tree, did you want to add anything?
Well, yeah. So I called Adam Rookie of the year I first worked with him. I'd forgotten he was already not a rookie because he had built a previous temple, which I was not involved in. But what I really loved about working with Adam is during the pre-build, I'm like an empirical guy. I just say, I'm a builder. I'm not a behind the scenes person. I show up, I do what needs to get done. I love working with novices and people. I'm a pretty good teacher. But I saw Adam that first year I worked with him often behind the computer during the pre-build. I thought, oh, he's one of the behind the scenes people. Cool, we need them. And I could tell he was doing just what he needed to do. But then we got on the playa, and all of a sudden, he was a builder, and he was like a team leader. And he jumped in there, and building on the playa, I have so much experience. But this guy was like at home building on the playa, and I'm like, we're all even veteran builders like me. We struggle every day trying to, get this thing done, and Adam was killing it. So, and I told you this, Adam. Like, I was so impressed. I still am impressed with how you can cross all those boundaries between, behind the scenes and actually boots on the ground building. So thank you, Adam.
Oh, thank you, Tree.
I do want to add a little bit more what it takes to build a temple.
Please.
We also have temple artists here, and that what we throw at the lead artist is just so crazy. You have a person who's either an architect themselves, or they've been an artist before, and they come up with any kind of design. They need to find an architect. They need to find a structural engineer to work with. They need to find design engineers who are able to translate the structural engineering into something that can actually be built. They need to find a build team that works with them. They need to find 100, 150 volunteers who build with them. They need to find a build site each year, and it's not always working that easily. It's getting harder and harder to find spaces in the Bay Area. They need to raise money, quite a lot of money. The Orcs grant is about $150,000 plus another $15,000 in equipment on the playa. A temple at this time costs somewhere between $500,000 and $750,000. It's a structure that's almost 200 feet wide. It's about 60, 70, sometimes 90 feet tall. 70,000 people go into the structure almost certainly more than once during a week. It needs to withstand strong winds. It needs to withstand all the craziness that happens on playa. And then we need to figure out how we burn this and get it down to the ground in essentially 15 minutes. And then they need to clean it up and leave everything there as good as they can. And at the same time, they have to deal with hundreds of people that have emotional breakdowns and have needs that they specifically want to get addressed. And it takes so much to do this. Like, this is a full-time job certainly for the lead artist, almost certainly for a whole bunch of other people to make this happen. And it's just amazing to see this from the sideline.
Yeah, I'll just add a little more detail. So Peter, so we have this year, in the past few years, we have pre-build in Oakland. For any of you that's on here that is not familiar with the building, it's maybe for saying we have pre-build warehouse in Oakland. We build it in chunks. We build it in pieces. We pre-build the pieces, flat pack them on flat semi-truck flatbed trailers, about 10, 12, or 13 of them. And as we fill those trailers up, we send them to holding lots out near Gerlach. And then when we arrive in the beginning of August, we take them off the trucks and we assemble them, kind of like a Lego, like an erector set or Legos, over the course of 2 weeks. Initially we intend to kind of have your basic 9 to 5 sort of day, but as you know, the weather and timelines and things change, and sometimes we have to go swing shifts through the night. Sometimes can't work at all because it's raining randomly. And so we sort of just adapt to what the playa, the mother playa gives us, and we work with it and around it.
And if anybody wants to volunteer, if you're in the Bay Area, even if it's just a day, right? Like you don't have to like fully join the crew and be there every single weekend. People can drop in and they can lend a hand and be a part of the
I'm actually dialing it. I wish I could turn on a camera to show you. I'm actually sitting right now in the workshop here in Oakland with about 50 volunteers all around me building temple today. And anyone who wants to can show up. We're here every Saturday and Sunday, 10 to 4. Details are on our website, 2026temple.com. And if anyone has paper, I can even give you the address. It's 1699 West Grand Avenue in Oakland. And we're here every Saturday and Sunday, 10 to 4.
Are you sure you're not a robot?
Yeah. Well, you have a slight audio glitch, which we'll fix before the next panel. But the answer to that question is yes, you can volunteer for just a day. And yes, go to 2026temple.org and you can get all the information there on where to go and how to volunteer. You can also donate. They're fundraising right now. So it's super important. If you can't, if you're not in the Bay Area, if you can't actually pick up a hammer and help, you can help by donating. And every little penny helps. So even if you're like, well, I can only donate $5 and it's not going to make a difference, it makes a difference. It does. It all adds up. So every possible way that you can help get the word out. So this is a community effort. I think the temple, which is my favorite burn at Burning Man, also is sort of that communal effort project that brings us all together. Pretty much everyone in some way contributes to the temple. I would say the vast majority of the people within Burning Man are participating with the temple, whether they go there and they leave an offering, or they just go there to hold space for somebody else, or they're there with a friend who's mourning or grieving, and they're there to hold space for them, or they've donated to the project, or they've actually helped build, or they went there and brought snacks while the temple is being built. I've heard of people doing that as well, just to create some sustenance for the team. Although they are pretty well taken care of on Playa. Thank you, Peter. So yes, and thank you, James, for.
Can I try again? Is this any better?
Nope.
It's probably going to take you like leaving the app and coming back in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Will do.
Okay. Thank you.
Maybe just one last thing. You don't have to be in the
Yes.
Bay Area to volunteer. The Temple of the Moon right now has an architect who sits in London, has a lighting designer who sits in Poland. There's a call right now to design gates. You can do this from everywhere in the world. There's always options to do this. This is a community project for the whole community, not just for the one in the Bay Area. And all the last temple artists have really tried to make something that people can do from outside the Bay Area too.
Oh, awesome. I didn't know about the gate project. That's really cool. So I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about the temple guardians, because we talked about building it and raising it from the ground and how people could participate that way. But the temple guardians are well, actually, Maven, would you tell us who the temple guardians are and when do they take over the temple and what their purpose is?
Sure. The temple guardians have actually been around since about David Best's third temple, the Temple of Joy. He was actually worried. It's hard to tell burners not to climb, and he was worried that people were climbing the temple because it's meant to fall. It's so beautiful, but it's delicate, and it gets even more delicate with everybody's emotions. So he reached out to pretty much our founder, Terme, and she came up with this amazing concept that we are today. And what we do is we are a group of people that we hope you don't ever notice. We try to stay invisible, if you will. And we keep people safe and we hold space for them during the burn. We also do a lot during build week, and I'll quickly talk about that in a second. But basically, when the entire community is welcome to the temple, when this amazing crew is finally ready and the appropriate engineers and people have signed off that it's safe to go, there's a beautiful, beautiful ceremony, and artists, and James will experience this too, but Miguel, who's here, got to experience this last year, gets the crew together, and they take their time celebrating the amazing structure that they've built since about Christmas, as Adam mentioned. And when they're ready, they hand it over to the guardians. And that means that from that moment on, our team protects the temple and makes sure that everybody who comes in has the experience that they are meant to have. It's that simple. We're not prescriptive. You don't have to come there to be sad. You can come there to be happy. You can get married there. We don't issue any marriage licenses. You can do whatever you want there. But no matter if you're there for 5 minutes, you're there for 5 hours. If you are there to just sit and meditate, you're there to get in out of the wind. We are there to make sure that you are safe, to make sure that if you're putting an offering up on the temple, that no one else comes into your space or even puts an offering up literally on top of your offering. But we are unobtrusive. Our job is to sort of just keep an eye on everybody and make sure that you do what you need to do. It's really that simple. During build week, it's actually pretty amazing. We hold space for the temple build crew, the artists, and everybody who's been on Playa for as long as they've been shipping stuff out there. We hold the perimeter, and actually what's really amazing is we are not invisible. We get to talk. We get to hold the perimeter and talk to everybody who's there during build week, tell the story of the temple while everyone is building the temple. We're going to talk to James and get the full story of the Temple of the Moon and be able to explain what kind of wood that they're using and the goals that James and team have had. We did that last year for Temple of the Deep with Miguel, and it was a beautiful thing to explain the organic nature of the temple and how many people worked on it and how long they worked on it. So the guardians help hold the perimeter, keep everybody safe during build week, and then we keep everybody safe emotionally and physically. No climbing the temple. Please don't make us use our radios. And that's what we do during burn week. And then we also stand on the line during temple burn, alongside rangers, alongside burn crew, sandman, everybody, and we get to watch we get to watch the temple burn in everyone's eyes, or the reflection of the temple in everyone's sunglasses. It's powerful. So that's what we do. We hold space and keep everybody safe.
I've been present at a couple of the ceremonies where the temple builders hand it over to the temple guardians, and then the temple guardians have their moment in the temple, and then they open it to the public. And just thinking about it, like, I have chills on my arms, and I can feel the emotion welling up in my chest. It's a very powerful moment.
It is, and I just got chills too because, like I said before, again, I'm not heartless. I have emotions, but I have amazing colleagues. And please, if you're interested in volunteering, please reach out to us at templeguardians@burningman.org. We would love to have you during Burn Week and Build Week, but being able to watch all the hard work that goes into it, what Peter and Adam and Tree have expressed you've no idea, and to be able to help provide insight down to the square footage of how much space needs to go into the temple so that there's enough space for offerings, or when James and team are thinking about where should we put benches so that there's enough places for people to sort of rest or sit. All these little minute details are so important. And then when it's finally given birth to and it's handed over to the guardians, it's such a privilege and such an honor to be bequeathed this structure and then hold it. We don't usually say sacred, but it's such a monumental honor. I can't even begin. And to be able to hold space for people and watch then the builders and everybody come in and finally come in during Burn Week it's just beautiful. And the empaths on my team are there for people who really need it, and there are people like me who can be there for others. So it's the ceremony when we close and the ceremony when we open are both beautiful. We close at sunrise on the Sunday following the man burn, and that's also a beautiful ceremony as well, when we gently ask people to get ready for the burn that evening.
And the world that we're currently standing in is actually called the Temple Guardian world. This is a dedicated space to the Temple Guardians. So as you walk around, you'll see the poster over there that is the Temple Guardian, I guess, credo. Was that what you call it? I don't know how to
I don't know. I wrote that during COVID. I got to go back and see what I wrote.
Okay. So, and then there's the Temple Guardian principles on this poster, and then on the posters over there, every year the Temple Guardians get a specific kerchief for that year based off of the design of the temple for that year, and you can see them all over there. And then you'll see posters of every single Temple Guardians hold the space of the temple. So all the temples are represented here in this space. So you can read about each one of the temples, all 25 of them here in this space, see some of the models, and then you can go to the world selector and choose the temple selector and go to all the different temples. Maybe you had a favorite one or your first one, or one that where you left an offering. I know that the 2023 temple, which is Temple of the Heart, has very important meaning to me because that is where I first left the offering for my mother after she passed. And so I like going back to the Temple of the Heart, which was beautiful rose lattice works, and I can go back and see it whenever I want. The offerings are not in these temples. The models of the temples are the architecture. The offerings are meant to burn and be temporary, and so the offerings are not physically represented in these digital representations, I should say. And so we'll get a moment to explore those, but I wanted to explain the space that we are currently in as the Temple Guardian Museum. And I'm sure over time we'll add more stuff to this world to tell the story of the Guardians even more. And then each one of the temples really tells the story of the builders. So we are here today to open up the museum that preserves 25 years of temple history in a virtual space. So I'm curious to our panelists, what does it mean to see this legacy honored, made accessible in BurnerSphere? And what do you hope people feel when they walk away or walk through these worlds? And I leave this for all of our panelists. You built these temples and they burned and that was it, and they were never going to be represented again, and here they are all 25 of them inside BurnerSphere. What does that legacy mean to you?
If I could say, this is Tree. Okay, so back in 2013, after building the Temple of Holiness the previous year, actually that same year, there was a wildfire that came through Big Sur. And, you know, I'd seen many temples burn. And at about 5 or 6 a.m. in the morning, I watched my home burn. And I have to tell you, I was never so prepared to watch my home burn as having built temples and watched them burn. It was wonderful in a way. It was like, I remember like, that's why I did this, is to watch and be able to accept my home burning. So that, to me, that just hooked me. I understood that burning something down is actually a kind of a phoenix rising, which ended up for me.
So it'd be really interesting to go visit the Temple of Holiness in here.
Yeah, Temple Holiness, amazing. In fact, the artists, the two artists, are now nearly my next door neighbors here in Big Sur. Lightning and Sin, you know, their features at the burn, good friends, man. So, I mean, again, it just comes back to this family that we put together. And while I'm speaking, I want to say something that turned out to be really important through the years of my work on the temple, which was every year we had a new artist, a new build team, and we all had to buy new tools. And for many years, there was really little continuity from temple build to temple build. And I recognized it, others recognized it. We started talking about it. I remember bringing it up once, like, you know, maybe we need to have a dedicated temple crew. And the first response was, well, well, like the man build. And the first response was, well, that's elitist. We don't want to do that, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? We did it. We put together the Temple Builders Guild. And I got to tell you, ever since that came together, which, by the way, happened in my living room here during a temple crew decompression party at my place in Big Sur, we formed the Temple Builders Guild. And that alone has just like it's turned, for me, it's turned the temple into like something I kind of like, you know, feared as I got on the playa, because you never know what's going to happen. And there's always a lot of shit that happens. See, something like last year, I had the time of my life. It was beautiful. We had all the tools we needed. We had people that were experienced. Anyway, this is my pitch for the Temple Builders Guild. It's been profound in making these temples happen the way they do.
Well, I'm not going to add to that. I'm going to... I love the Temple Builders Guild. I love that they jumped in and made this happen. And it's the same for BurnerSphere. I love that this exists. The first temple that I was in charge of burning was a digital one. It was the temple. It was the Lotus Temple. That's what it was called during the pandemic. And I wasn't sure if this is going to work, because immediacy is one of our big principles. And the first instinct that you have when you are in an interactive world and you're staring at avatars is not necessarily immediacy. And somehow it really worked, and it was a profound experience for a lot of us. Also on a personal level, because that's when I met Maven, because we were both working on this, and she has done as a temple guardian exactly what she's doing with every other participant, has always been like the silent supporter, and I would say everything but that. Like, you are incredibly good at that and incredibly empathic and giving these hugs in the virtual world as well as in the real world. That's amazing. And being in here, I mean, it brings me back to this virtual temple that we burned virtually, but it's also like it also kind of tells me all these stories, and it brings me back to these different years. And like, I'm grateful for seeing the temples that I've seen in person and experiencing them again, and I'm really, really grateful for seeing temples that I haven't had a chance to see before, and just see the monumental part of it and the architecture and all the little features. And I love the fact that it exists. I love the fact that there's other artwork too. There's not just the temples, but that we also have worlds where we can experience other art pieces, some that have been to the playa and some that have never made it to the playa or will made it soon to the playa. And it's an incredibly helpful tool. A helpful tool for people to understand what we're doing. Like, this is the first time my grandma saw a temple in real life at Burning Man was in not real life in the virtual world, and that was a way of sharing an experience with her that I would not share in any other way. And I did the same as you did, Athena. I put the memories of her into a temple, and being able to go back to that specific temple, which in my case is also the Temple of the Heart, was and is very important to me.
Yeah.
It's early. It's Thank you. You guys are amazing. I mean, this is just one small world within this amazing virtual burn, and I'll just leave it at the reason we were compelled to build all of this, right? Was that people needed community, and all the art pieces are beyond words. The temple is something that, though, people think about all year, that they know that that they learn about all the amazing art that Peter and Katie and the team get to bring to the playa, but everyone knows, quote, there will be a temple, and they plan for it, right? Whether they're celebrating life, whether they're celebrating death, but people come there and they gather. And so I do hope that people get to come to this amazing world that Athena and Doug and the whole team have put together, and to remember, all those great memories from that year on the playa. And you smile and you cry out of love and out of joy. And I think the temples are all about celebration. And I just hope that people can come back and remember, I remember that happened. And whether that thing happened at the temple or not, you remember memories and friendships and family and struggles and all the principles. And the temple, to me, is just the cornerstone of the burn. And I'm biased, but I'm just so proud of everybody who put this world together. I'm so honored all of you came to celebrate it. And Peter, Tree, Adam, everybody on the panel, previous artists, the artists to come. I cannot wait for more to propagate this world.
Yes. So now I want to open it up to the audience. We have a little bit of time left before the end, and I know that you have burning questions. So if you have a question, please come forward to the front or raise your hand and unmute yourself. Real fast, I want to give kudos to a few people that are here. Definitely Ignacio, who cleaned up all of the temple models. So thank
Some of
you,
them.
Ignacio. Some of them. Well,
So we still
a
got
lot of
some to go,
them.
but yeah, a lot
Yeah.
of them. Oh yeah. Looking forward to
Okay,
that.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Squirrel is here. Is she still here? Yes,
Yeah.
Hi,
Squirrel
guys.
flew scanning a drone and did scanning and stuff for us on Playa and really helped us do some of the most recent captures. I don't think Michelle and Angelina are here. They worked on the graphics of all the temples that you see around. And of course, thank you, Maven, for a lot of the Temple Guardian content that you see in this world. Okay, and now who has a question for our panelists that they would like to ask? Anyone?
Can I check if my mic is working now, by the way, Athena?
Yes, your mic is working great.
Great. Thank you. Good.
Yay. Perfect. Does anybody have a question? Anybody?
Well, I mean, so for you guys of all experiencing the temples in the real world, have you been through all of the digital ones here, or are you looking forward to participating here in this realm with adventuring on them? Because I feel like it'd be great to get some of your experiences within these.
Clarification question. So you're wondering if we're
So
going to go to
the
these
other temples, if you've explored any of them that are in here, and Peter has.
I've especially explored the last few temples because one of the greatest things for me with what BurnerSphere offers is a chance for me to show my colleagues beforehand how the temples look like. And in the last few years, we've always had a chance to kind of walk through, and we have a weekly meeting in the Burning Man headquarters, and more than once have I used this to do a walkthrough that people have an understanding of what's coming. It's really hard for a lot of people to look at a picture or at a rendering and understand what they are going to have to deal with on Playa. And there's nothing better than just walking them through one of these digital versions. So this is like purely from a work-related point, it's incredibly helpful to do this. And I know how much, or I do not know, but I have an idea how much work Ignacio has cleaning these models up, because what he usually is an architectural model or a design model from the temple artist, and there's literally every bolt and every screw in there, and cleaning that up makes that even possible to experience for us is a shit ton of work.
Oh my gosh. I didn't
Nice.
even know that. So can I also just give a shout out to Doug, who put the right man base at the end of the road for each one of the temples? So we're going to have an hour in between this panel and the next one. And that's an hour for you to go through the temple selector and explore all the temples. We can do it as a group. You can do it individually. But now you all have to notice that the temple at the man base at the end of the road is correct. And when you do, just give a little like, thank you, Doug.
This is.
I'll add it to the Doug list.
Well, since we have Miguel here, I hope he gives us a tour through the Temple of the Deep.
Yeah, we can go there. Yeah, sure. I would also like to add, because you said before that I came with my luggage here to America to do the temple, and that's the proof that this temple is impossible to do without you. So I will say it in the other way: you make the temple, and and that's great because I just came here. Okay, I gave everything I had, but it was completely impossible to do this with all of you. And yeah, and also it's true about the temple guardians. It was great, that feeling of being protected when we were building there. So, seeing you all around the perimeter, it was like feeling home there.
I just want to say this is actually a really incredible moment because we have Miguel, who was the Temple of the Deep, built last year's temple. We have James, who's currently building right now the Temple of the Moon, who's here. And then Peter, Adam, Tree, Maven, like all of us together in one space, but all of us in completely different spaces physically. And so this is the magic that is BurnerSphere, is that we can all come together, bring our consciousness together in a single space.
Oh yeah. We've been speaking a lot. We actually met during the temple build last year. That I actually have to say that last year I was able to build only at his art project because I was not allowed to put a single screw in my temple. So I went one day to the loom. So I worked more in his project last year than on the temple.
We took Miguel in and gave him a project to do, so he got to actually cut some wood and hammer some nails for our Moonlight Library last year. And then sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, James.
No, I was going to say, and then this year when I decided I wanted to submit a design for the temple, the community has been incredibly helpful. I called Miguel, I called Trija, I called Pony, I called, Ava, and I sort of talked to as many people as I could talk to who had built previous temples. And everyone is there's a real kind of camaraderie of previous temple builders. The one warning sign though is everyone, when you tell them you're submitting a design for the temple, they look at you with sort of great empathy and sort of commiseration, and they put their hand on your shoulder and they say, I'm almost like, I'm sorry you're doing, I'm sorry, but it's there's a sense of trauma bond and it goes through the process. But joking aside, it has just been a wonderful experience and everyone's been so helpful. And Miguel has been great and has already come by and already screwed in a bunch of screws for this year's temple.
Oh yeah. This year already 12 screws in this year temple. And I'm counting.
He's counting. He's counting. 12.
Yeah, I'm counting.
He's got a dozen. I love it. Yes, that's true.
Oh, nice.
That was great.
Oh,
if you're
nice.
on a desktop, you'll be able to see it. The Quest headset's not quite yet.
Oh, sweet. I didn't even know that.
Or the Moonlight Library you can actually experience in a different way too, because you can be at a fly ranch camp out and see it in person.
Oh wow!
Nice.
That's very cool.
Yeah, we're
we need to
letting
get fly
it slowly.
ranch in here.
Yeah, we do.
Oh yeah.
The last question I have is looking forward, what do you believe the temple still has to teach us? What is your hope for the next 25 years?
Oh, wow.
Peter, Maven, Adam, Tree?
Okay. I think that's already been realized, which is that the energy of the temple needs to go well beyond Burning Man. David Best has been instrumental in taking this kind of energy and processing to places that really need it. He built a temple in Parkland, Florida after the mass shooting there. And probably, you know, the one temple, when people ask me, what is that one temple that made, you know, was the most significant to me, was none of the playa temples. It was a temple we built in Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
That it was unbelievable how we brought together. Okay, so first of all, we planned this temple at this top of this hill, overlooking the town of Derry, where during sectarian violence and the Troubles, there used to be these massive bonfires that, you know, actually the Catholics would set there, and then the Protestants would set. Anyway, it was like not a good place to have a temple burn. And yet that's what we decided. David decided. And at first, the whole community was like, you know, even, well, especially the clergy were going like, no, you know, we don't want any more fires up there. We're past the Troubles. But David saw it as a really healing process. We brought together the Catholic security forces and the Protestant police who patrolled the whole area. The whole community was like, what are we building up there? We built this beautiful temple, spent a long time. I mean, it's snowed, deep snows, and I was like kicking through the snow just to find the materials we needed. But the point is that we made an impact. The day we opened the temple, 1,000 people came. The second day, about 2,000 people came. The third day, about 5,000 people came. I mean, gradually people saw it, and by the time we built it, we burned the temple, 25,000 people were there. And they sold tickets for this event, all right, to pay for it. This was the Artichoke group. Anyway, so I just got to tell, and that made front page New York Times. And there are so many stories about the Protestants and the Catholics healing through that. So thanks for letting me just kind of go off. But that, to me, was the most special temple I've ever been involved in. And that's going beyond what we've done here.
Thanks,
Yes.
Tree. For me, I think, like, I actually still don't know why I build the temple. I'm not, you know, luckily, knock on wood, my health is good. I'm not, again, knock on wood, I got, you know, no really close loved ones that have passed. And so I have this, I've said this a few times before, that I feel like I'm in this like pay it forward mode, because I know my day will come, you know, whether it's me personally in my health, or a close loved one, or a friend, or something. And so, I mean, I hope that doesn't come off like, oh, nothing's wrong with me. That's kind of the opposite. Like, I know there's like this wave coming. I mean, it just does. It's just what happens, right? And I feel like that the temple, for me, is what I hope it continues to bring, is teaching about to teach us about adaptability and resilience. Because I feel like the world that we're in now, and it's probably always been I know it's always been chaotic in different ways, right? We're always going around going, this is the most chaotic it's ever been. It's a dumpster fire every other day, right? But I think we can't, like, I just hope that we're constantly presented with the little bit of friction all the time, so that then we can become, I don't know, not hardened, but attuned to how to deal with it, how to process it. And at times, if you need to, compartmentalize it and then uncompartmentalize it. But it's something about resilience and adaptability that comes to mind for me. And then it's also about about the predictability and the comfort knowing for others that this thing is going to be there. that they are, look forward to all year round, and basically showing up as a builder, showing up and building a thing and having it there for them. When the gates open, they like race to it as fast as they can because they're holding on to something that is beyond what I can comprehend, right? You know, it's their truth. It's this thing they're holding on to, and they need to unload it on the temple. And if that's the thing that drives me, right? Because again, I have a feeling that someday that's probably gonna be me.
To me, I feel like as long as we're having some kind of Burning Man, there's always going to be some kind of temple. I don't know how it's going to look like and what it's going to be. For years we're having discussions with David Best if we really need to burn a temple or not. Things just change. We're looking so much more into sustainability nowadays than we did 20 years ago. The temple this year is a great example of innovation and sustainability too. Like, not only are they running completely on solar, not just during the event, but also during the whole build. They're also having 80,000 feet of reclaimed lumber to build this whole thing. And I don't know what's going to happen. We'll see if the same kind of version of a temple exists, but I think there's something that's going to be there. Where the Sheep Sleeps in the Netherlands is one of our regional burns where they're not allowed to burn. And what they're doing is that they have a circle of willows, and each year they plant new willows to add to this. And that's their temple. And that might be a bit hard to do in the Black Rock Desert, but I'm excited to see what new temple artists come up with and what ideas they have and how we can do this. And it might look similar to what we did before. It might look completely different, but we're here for it, and we all know whatever it is, what the lead artist and the whole team builds is what we will need out there in some way or the other.
Amen.
Amen.
Maven, do you want to add to that?
The only thing I'll say is that I just hope that the temple, whatever the physical embodiment is, you know, it just continues to welcome everyone. The temple can be inspired by many things, personal or communal, but it's a place that everyone can, no matter their backgrounds, no matter their situation in life, no matter if they're coming in from a high or a low, from one political side or the other, who knows? I would like to see whatever that construct of the temple grows to be, that it's just a place where everybody is respectful and understands that we're all human and we all go through these emotions and we all need each other. And it's something that I'd like to keep as a through line for many, many decades to come.
Thank you. I agree.
Amazing. As a temple
Yeah.
guardian, can I comment on that as well? Of where I see it in 25 years? Can I say something quickly?
Yes, quickly, because we have to wrap up our program.
If I was to say anything that I'd love to see it evolve in 25 years is the way people put the stories into the temple and that energy that's captured there, and the way it's documented, whether it's giving permission to putting it out there, because I think that there could be such a power to then now being in this kind of world to revisit those things. And I think some people want to share it out there. So the way it's captured, even if it burns, like, I think that could be magical, the way it evolves in 25 years.
Yes. Month after next. It's July. Yeah. It's in July. Yes. So thank you, everyone. Is Miguel still here? Yes. Miguel, if you want, because we're for the next hour, we're going to explore the temples. Miguel,
Okay.
should we
Yeah.
hop over to Temple of the Deep as the first
Yeah.
temple that we explore?
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, sure.
100%. Yes. Let's visit his
100%.
temple.
Okay,
Yeah, that'd be
so
great.
before we go, I want to say a huge thank you to our campmates whose camp dues make gatherings like this possible and keep the festival open and accessible to everyone. If you've been enjoying this experience and want to help sustain it, we invite you to join the community as a campmate and contribute to camp dues. You really make events like this possible. We have a newbie orientation coming in June and our sustainability event in July. Plus, so many artist talks are coming very soon. I see El Nino is here. We'll be who has spoken to us about a couple of his pieces. Who will be returning talking about Koki, which is this most adorable frog. And so many other artists coming up soon. So thank you so much to our campmates. So now we're going to go over to the BurnerSphere World Selector. Oh wait, at 12:30 Pacific time, come back to BurnerSphere. We are going to get together with Stretch Goal, James, and Annie Locke, the chief architect. James is the designer of the Temple of the Moon, which is the new temple coming to Playa. And as we have our discussion this afternoon, you'll hear the saws and the hammers and the nails going in the background because every time you unmute yourself, I'm like, oh my God, I can hear them building. I just want to go and help. So I love that sound effect is coming through on you. So
All right, see you
please,
at
if
12:30.
you, yeah, well, 12:30. If you're gonna take a break, great. Come back at 12:30. If you want to go adventure with us, we're gonna go over to our BurnerSphere World Selector, and you're gonna click through until you see 2025 Temple of the Deep, or you can wait until somebody goes and then just follow them through your friend browser. So let's head
Okay.
on over. And thank you to Peter, Tree, Maven, Adam. Thank you so much for being part of this panel and sharing all of your knowledge.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good work.
Thank you.
Thank you, Raven.
Have you been back here?
I was like, I think it was maybe November or December that there was something with BurnerSphere that I came, but no, not since. Yeah.
How's it feel to be?
Yeah, but this looks way better. Maybe they have improved the model, probably. Yeah.
Hey, Doug.
Well, give us.
What's that?
Miguel, give us a tour. We want to hear.
Is this the scan?
No, it's just the model. Oh, it was Peter.
Oh, where's the scan at?
This can.
You need to. Is it a
Would you?
Gaussian?
It's a Gaussian right
So
now?
it's PCDR only.
No, I know. Okay. That's what's up. Okay. Yeah, but I filmed the outside of it.
I remember that. Yeah, the outside is
Ignacio
good.
made
The
me.
inside. It
Ignacio
was
said,
fine. The storm wasn't that close.
no, Ignacio literally said, put
Then
that drone up. And I was like, Ignacio, are you sure? And he was like, yeah, it'll be fine. And then it was
it's
on the cusp of not being fine, but we did it.
yeah. Right.
I was like, should I take
We
off?
were fine.
We were fine. We got it
The
done.
inside we had to stop.
Well, because
But the outside was fine.
because, yeah.
Then I got the hell out of there.
I got stuck out there.
Yeah.
It was pretty fun.
So the blue circles on the ground are actual video bubbles from the temple. So you can find the blue circles and.
Oh. Oh, this is Ian's 360. No. Ian's there.
Yeah, you fetch. You
What?
fetch shit while you walk.
I see. Okay.
Oh, right.
Oh,
that's
wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
We are inside the circle. Okay.
Oops.
Oh, building
Wait,
that.
who filmed this?
This is all Logan.
Oh, Logan.
Oh, that wasn't Logan.
Oh, that's okay.
remember
We're
his
back
name.
there then flying. Okay, cool.
Oh, yeah, they went in first.
That's kind of cool.
And they got a couple of videos.
Oh, I remember this part. Shit.
It was fine now. No storm
No,
yet.
this is when it started to get crazy.
No, this is.
Oh, I see Logan.
This is right before the temple gets open, so everyone is just pouring out the DG and doing kind of last steps before the temple is kind of handed over.
Until we got
And
stuck for
we were
5
trying
hours.
to figure out how to build the benches inside because we had an issue with meters and feet. So all the benches that we made inside were the wrong size. So we had to redo the whole design of those benches in the last 24 hours. So with the pieces that we had that were in a different size as expected, but it looked great at the end. It was even better than the previous design. Because the idea was, as you know, it was not to have an altar there. I didn't want people to look to the altar. I want people to look to each other. So that's why at the end, the design inside was these two benches, one in front of the other. So people were able to share the grief with the people in front of them.
Miguel, you're standing on me.
Yeah? Oh, sorry. Okay, I knew that. Yeah, I know.
The original benches were like a closed circle, right?
The idea was to be like the layout of Black Rock City. So it was like closed. They had like a small entrance. But when we tried to put all those pieces inside the temple, it was bigger than the temple. So something happened between feet and meters. That's why we always said that we were building in feeters. We had to redesign a new layout of that central part, like 12 hours before the opening.
Yeah, I think this 3D model has the original layout.
Yeah.
What you're all seeing here is the opening. So all the temple builders are kind of lined up on each side while everyone walks in. So.
Oh, nice. I hadn't seen this video.
Yeah, and I think this is the most emotional part of building the temple. I think when you see people thanking everyone in line that has built the temple.
Yeah, and the Philharmonic plays here at the end of the week before it burns.
Yeah, I was here for that. That was a great show.
And then you can see on the facade all the dust from the storm, the previous storm. So that was great for the opening, but because it was like a new baby born that just raised from deep playa, and then next day we have another storm, so we clean everything. So we have like the clean temple for the whole week.
Oh, I'm in this piece right here. Nothing else matters. Where's the conductor? Wow.
Can you find yourself?
The conductor is below me, you know.
I was conducting. No, there's another conductor in the thing. I was conducting far. I love that you guys gathered that.
Miguel, can you say a bit more about the lattice work? What your Spanish team did?
Oh yeah. Okay, the central part, what we call the vortex. So the idea was we wanted to make like this big rock on playa, like representing Black Rock Desert, but we want the inside to be like more light. So we have this technique in the festival we have back in Valencia, the Fire Festival, Las Fallas, that is 300 years old. So I brought like 4 artisans to build that vortex that we call. So it was also because this temple didn't want to look to the universe. It was more the idea was to be like more grounded. So at the end, this vortex was working like in both directions. It was not only going from the ground to the universe. It also was like in the opposite direction. So I want to build something like really heavy. Like when you enter, you can feel like the weight of the whole rock above you. But then we use like those artisans, and it was pretty fun for them because they have never been before to the States. So they arrived to Reno. We took them from Reno. We brought them to Black Rock City. They spent 5 days helping us build this thing on playa. And from that, they went back to Reno and they took the plane back to Spain. So their only knowledge about the United States of America is 5 days.
Building. Wow. Oh, that's me.
I was gonna say, Ignacio, do you see it?
Yeah.
This is funny to look back at this footage.
Yeah, I don't think
Are you there?
Like, I completely forgot about this. This is great.